Good evening, all. So we will be beginning our class. Good evening, everybody. You are able to hear me?
Yeah, good
Good
evening to
evening,
you.
sir.
Good evening, everybody.
Good
Okay,
evening.
fantastic. Uh, okay, just give me a moment. I'm setting up things. Okay, fantastic. Now, before I begin this class, I just wanted to let you know that there are a few things that I want to convey from my class. The first thing is that I want to say that why you have to join my class or why you have to learn with Karthik. For people who don't know me, my name is Karthik and I will be your Python trainer. And if today is your first class, not worry, there is an old recording that we are having. This is the day 2 class. Day 1 class is already there on the YouTube. So you can go and find and you can visit and complete that class. This is the day 2 class. In this day 2 class, I just wanted to convey a few things about why you have to join this class and why you have to learn with Karthik. The first thing is that I want to cover why is that you have to learn with Karthik. I believe that anyone can learn programming. I don't believe that it's only few scholars, few people who are really genius can learn programming. I believe anybody can learn programming. And I believe that programming is a digital art form, meaning, it's a digital art, like everybody is in the digital world. So programming becomes a digital art. And once you learn programming, you can unlock your wings of creativity and you will become an artist if you are learning programming. And programming can, if you can read this last statement, that is the beautiful statement that I like to give. Programming can liberate you from the monotony of routine work. You're doing some regular desk job, you're doing some job which you don't like, you are working on some project which you are forced to work because of your financial crisis, because of your family issues. Here, if you learn programming, you are going to build a new world and you are going to make others a part of that world, because programming, you are going to develop something, you are going to be a part of that world. So I believe that everybody can learn programming. That is the why that I want to mention it to everybody. Is my point clear to everyone? Yes, no?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Does
Yes, sir.
anybody have some questions on this part? Is everybody clear?
Yes.
Okay. And how am I going to achieve this one? So you can join me and I will teach you programming skills and I will help you, guide you in practicing programming. I can teach you programming and I will also help you practice programming, because many people will teach you programming, but they will not help you practice programming. But here I am there to help you practice programming and I will provide you with real world examples, not that which is something which is only in the syllabus, not that which is not there outside the world. I'm going to give you some real world examples and hands-on project if time permits. And I would also love to offer personalized feedback to enhance your learning experience. This is the assurance that I like to give you when you're traveling with me. And basically, what is Karthik doing? Karthik is offering teaching service that can transform you into an artist, because once you learn programming, you are learning a digital art and you can be called as an artist, and you are capable of creating similar artists like you find any aspirants or anybody who's interested in programming, you can build another person similar like you of how you have grown. So these are the three things that is vital key factors that I'm going to establish in all my classes. This is why Karthik's teaching, how is Karthik's teaching, and what is Karthik's teaching. I have clearly put it down. Clear? Yes? Can I proceed further?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. In today's class, I'm going to teach you how to install. I'm going to teach you these things. I'm going to teach you installation of Python, and I'm going to teach you what is pip. Okay. I'm going to teach you these a couple of things. Agenda for today. Let me write it clearly. Agenda for today's class. Today's class is that I wanted to help you all with installation of a Python. Installation of Python I'm going to cover, and then I'm going to teach you what is pip. It is something that is related to Python. I'm going to teach you. I'm going to teach you what is an IDE, and introduction to Pycharm, and then I'm going to teach you before this what is pip. I'm going to teach you another thing called as what is a REPL tool. I'm going to teach you, and then I'm going to teach you about why the name Python. Why the name Python? I'm going to teach you, and then I'm going to teach you simple program in Python. Simple program in Python I'm going to teach you. So these are the things that we are going to concentrate today. Clear? Can I proceed? Yes, no?
Please.
Okay. Now, before going to, let's see how to install Python. So you have to go to this Python here. This is the official website for Python. See, Python official site is called as www.python.org. This is the official website for Python. Okay, everybody take a clear look. This is the official website for Python, and this site, this Python is not owned by a owner. It is not owned by somebody else. Like if you can name, if you are calling C# as an programming language, that is owned by Microsoft. Okay, and Java is owned by Oracle. Here, Python as a programming language, it is not owned by a single person. Rather, it is owned by whom? I'm highlighting here. Python is owned by whom here?
Python Software Foundation.
Yeah, Python is owned by Python Software Foundation. So there are a group of people, Python developers, Python enthusiasts. These are the people who are responsible for Python, and it is not under a vendor, or it is not belonging to an owner. So Python belongs to an organization by name Python Software Foundation. Can we put that on the notes? Okay. Python belongs to Python Software Foundation. Software Foundation. In short terms, we call them as PSF. This is a charity service that they are doing, and it is what do you say? It is how best I can put it. It does not runs on any funding. It is just by donors and then volunteers and sponsors. This organization is run, so there is no official support by a bigger organization. It is this Python is owned by this Python Software Foundation. A group of Python enthusiasts are leading this particular programming language. Okay, that is why many people are contributing, and the language is grown up so healthily. Okay, now getting back to this Python, you have about tabs, you have documentation, you have community, you have success stories. See, in success stories, you can see that Python has been beautifully used in arts, business, education, engineering, government, scientific, and software development. So if you go to arts, you can see that Python is helping many success stories in the arts also. So I don't find anything, but let's go to business. In business, using Python for commercial cloud backup, using Python to make unstable APIs reliable. So all these are some success stories in the form of different sectors it is used. So let's go to our thing. Our thing is that we want to download Python. So I'm going to downloads here, and then I am clicking on this particular download for Windows. Automatically, if you are using Mac OS, you will get a download for Mac OS. If you are using Linux operating system, you will get a download for Linux operating system. Okay. Now, have you ever wondered what is see, Python is a programming language, but in order to build this Python programming language, they would have written some codes. Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, Python is a programming language, but in order to build a Python programming language, definitely the developers would have written that Guido van Rossum, he would have written codes so that he would have developed this programming language. So if you want to know the source code of Python programming, you can go and see here. They are giving the entire source code of how they have developed Python. It is here. If you have time, you can download it and you can spend your time. You can read and understand how they have written Python code to develop a Python application or a Python programming language. There are so many other things also into that one, but the source code is offered to the public. Anybody who's interested can take this code, modify it, and put their name along with Python, and they can use it. That is why Python is used so widely in the market. Clear, clear, clear.
Yes.
Okay, now Python, I have clicked on this particular link. When I'm clicking on it, I will have an exe downloaded. I have already downloaded and kept it in my downloads to save time. So I'm going to install this one. See here, Python 3.11 is the latest version. What is the version of Python that we are using now?
3.11.
Python 3.11. So Python version, what we are using, Python version, current version, let me write it. Python current version is 3.3.11. Okay, that version we are going to install it. So once you click on this download button here, download button, it will automatically download an exe file. So I in the interest of time, I have already downloaded it. So I'm just clicking open that exe. It is asking install Python. It is giving me two options, install now, or you want to do customize installation. Click on install now. Okay, and then it is trying to install everything. Clear, clear, clear.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, it is trying to install. It is taking some time. Please give it a moment. Please give it a moment. Okay. Okay. It is getting installed in few minutes. It will get installed based on your power of your machine. It will get installed quite faster. Okay. So setup was successful. Yes, no.
Yes.
Okay, setup was successful. So it is installed successfully. So close this window. Now what you need to do here is you need to check whether Python is installed correctly or not. Yes or no? What you need to do?
The installation is successful.
Yes, sir.
It is installed correctly or not. So what you need to do, I'm going to show you where Python is installed or where Python files are sitting in your Windows laptop. So you go to your my computer, this is the PC, and here what you have to do here is click on this PC. Okay, let me click on the C drive. So I am here on the C drive. Here on the C drive, you need to click on the users. Where you need to go from the C drive, where you need to go?
User.
You need to go to the users, and in your computer, your name will be there. In my computer, my name is there. So I will go into Karthik Babu. I will get into Karthik Babu. So in the C drive, you are going to users, you are going to Karthik Babu. Here in Karthik Babu, you should find one app data folder. So what you will do, I will put one backward slash and click and write something called as app data. The moment when I'm clicking app data, that folder will not be visible to you here. Okay, that folder will not be visible to you here. So what you need to do here is click on this particular file path and click or put a backward slash and write app data. So immediately it will open up three folders. So here in this three folders, click on local. Here on this local, all the programs, whatever you have installed will be here. So go to a folder by name programs. You are finding one folder by name what?
Program.
Programs. Click on this folder. You will find a folder created by Python when you're installing. So here Python is already there. What is the Python version that I'm using here?
3.11.
Python 3.11. So
Uh,
all your Python files are sitting in this location. Yes or no? So all your
Yes.
Python files are sitting in this location. This is where your complete Python folders, Python programs, whatever the installation we have done, it is sitting in this path. But every time can I come to this path and execute my Python program? Or my requirement is that I will write my Python program anywhere on my system, but this particular program, this particular translator should come and execute my Python program. Every time can you come here and write a Python program? It is possible or not possible?
It is possible, but it
Can
is
we come here and write the program? It's not possible. Yes or no? We will be writing our programs in desktop. We will be writing our programs in documents. We will be writing our programs in any part of our system or any part of our laptop machine. But here, as of now, the Python files are sitting only in this location. So what I will do, if at all, if there is any Python program executed apart from this, outside this environment, even then my Python program should be executed. Clear? In that case, I will copy this path. What I will do in that case, what I will do?
copy this path.
I will copy this path and I will add this path to my environment variables. What is this environment variables? See here, if you go here, if you type in your start machine, if you type edit, you will get edit environment variables for your account. Click on this one and then you will get a window like this. Here on this window, you are setting this path, you are setting this path anywhere. If there is any Python program is requested to run, this particular Windows operating system will give the control to this path, so that I can execute my Python program from anywhere. Clear?
Yes.
So what I will do here, I will go to the path location. My system as user variable for Karthik Babu. I'll click on the path and then I'll click on edit. And then what I will do, I will click on a new path and then I will paste the path, whatever I copied from here. So what is happening? So if I'm writing Python program from anywhere outside from this path, this Windows operating system will give the control to this particular folder and my Python will be executed. Clear? Yes?
Yes, sir.
Any questions here in this part? Everybody understood or somebody didn't understand? Quickly answer.
Which
Karthik, this is Pravina here. Karthik.
Yes, Pravina.
No, is this mandatory to follow to? We need to.
This
add
is one of the best
text.
practice. If we follow that, we will know what version we are doing. It is good if we are following, but in the later versions, if we are using Pycharm, this is automatically taken care. But I wanted to have control of my Python version. This is the way. Okay. So, any other questions? Did I answer your question, Pravina?
Yeah, Karthik, one question. Mr.
Yeah.
Karthik, one question. Like normally we are creating the shortcuts, on the desktop. So
Yeah.
why don't we create a Python shortcut on the desktop?
See, shortcut meaning it is a one single file, but there are so many DLL files that it is required
so all
to
the
run
library
my
file has to
Python
be
program.
considered.
You follow?
All the library file has to be considered, isn't it?
Yes. So I cannot bring all my library files to my desktop as a shortcut file. So I need to publicize, make this path public. So any Python program, it will come to my operating system, will direct it to this path, and the Python program will be successfully executed. Okay.
Got it.
Okay, now if you see that this is the Python interpreter which is going to translate my English level instructions into binary language. This is the application. Now I am going, there is another folder that you need to take a closer look. This is a folder by name scripts. This is a folder by name scripts. If you get inside this one, you will have so many Python files. But this one is also important that you need to put it on your edit variables or in your environment variables, because sometimes you are not going to use Python all alone. You might use Python with the advanced library, like you will be using pandas, you will be using selenium, you will be using Python, and along with Python you will be using some third party libraries and all, right? So in that case, for that purpose, we need to give this path, the scripts also as our environment variable. Again, click on path here, click on edit. So on this edit button, I'm going to click on new, and then I'm going to paste it. Clear?
Yes.
So I'm going to click it and paste it, and then click on OK. Okay, so these are the procedures that you have to do. Once this is done, you can launch your command prompt, CMD. If you launch your command prompt, this is your command prompt, and then you can check whether Python is installed correctly or not. See, I am writing, I want to know whether Python is successfully installed or not. One way to check is open your command prompt, type the command Python, and then type the word hyphen version. Is it giving Python 3.11.2? Yes, no.
Yes.
So that means whenever there is a Python version requested, this operating system Windows is passing the control to this particular location, Python location, because I pasted this path as an environment variable, and so I'll be able to get the Python version successfully. If you have not pasted this path as an environment variable, if you are giving this Python hyphen version, it will not give you the version. Clear?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, now the next important thing here is I want to tell you what are the different ways that you can work on Python. Okay, now Python is successfully installed. Now if you click here, click on your Windows button and just type Python and just type Python. Could you see that there is something called as Python exe there? Yeah, this is the Python interpreter where it is already installed, and also you will have another document. If you want to understand something about the documentation, there are some documents available. Could you see there is something called as ideally? Are you able to see?
Yes.
Yes. Now this ideally, in other words, I can call that this is like a playground. So when you want to go to a tournament, say suppose you are playing for a World Cup. Before going to the World Cup, you will go and practice in the in the net practice you will do, right? You will try to master different strokes. If you are playing cricket, you will have some practice, and then only you can go to the World Cup, right? Yes or no?
Yes. Yes.
That practicing can be done in the net practice, we will call. Do you know that they will do a lot? If there is a cricket to match tomorrow, they will do net practice today so that they can perform well in the tomorrow's match. Like that, we have a playground. By default, it is coming by the Python, and when we install it, we have an application by name ideally. I am going to explain what is ideally. But this ideally is an inbuilt application, or this ideally is an inbuilt playground for beginners to learn about Python. I am opening it up. Okay, this is how it will look. This ideally, or in other words, we call it as shell. This is a playground for beginners to play and enjoy Python. And this is not that you can use it for industry purpose. This is not suitable to do your projects or your work assignments. This is just to learn. We have something called as Python shell or Python ideally. This is like a playground to practice Python. Clear?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm giving one simple command called as a Python hello world. Python hello world. After, could you see? Sorry, I'm not able to increase the font and all. Just suggest. Are you able to see print hello world? This is for short time I'm trying to do. You are able to see, everybody?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
I will try to increase it a little bit so that you will go. Okay. Are you able to see print hello world? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes,
So
sir.
when I'm printing, it says when I'm giving a command, print hello world, it is trying to print that hello world on the console. Now what I'm trying to do, print 10 plus 20 I am giving. It is trying to add and it is giving me some answers. I am saying that print 100 into 200 I'm asking. It is doing that job and it is giving me. So this ideally is a simple playground for me to practice Python code, and it is not suitable to do some complex or real-time cases. Clear.
Yes.
Okay, now
Yes.
I am going to explain what is an IDLE. I hope you understood what is Python installation. Can I explain what is Python IDLE?
Yes, please.
Python ideally, it is called as a ideally. I'm going to brief it. It is called as integrated. It is called as integrated development and learning environment. In short term, we call that this. Now, this ideally, we call it as this ideally in common words, we call it as what? Ideally is also called as a Python shell. Is also called as what?
Python shell.
Is also called as Python shell, or in other words, we call it as playground. In other words, we call it as playground. Okay. Now, this ideally is a REPL tool. What is this ideally?
REPL 2.
Now you should ask me, what is this REPL tool, Karthik? I didn't understand. Can you brief what is ideally? You are saying ideally is a REPL tool. What is that one? Now R in this REPL tool stands for read, and then E is standing for something called as evolve. I'm going to explain, please bear with me. And then P is standing for something called as a print, and then L stands for something. L stands for something called as a loop. L is something called as a loop. Now, keeping this, keep this in your mind. What is REPL? Read, evolve, print, and loop. What is REPL? Can you quickly reply?
Read, evolve, print, and loop.
Read,
Okay.
evolve, print, loop.
Okay, now come back to the shell here. This is the shell. Here in the shell, I am typing print. Hello students, I am printing. I am printing. Hello students, I am trying to print. Okay, now carefully listen. When you are this particular ideally is first reading your statement. Ideally is doing what? First it is reading. Print hello student, it is reading. After reading that one, it is trying to practice it. It is trying to put it into action. It is trying to evolve. So it is understanding after reading Python shell. It is understanding, oh, I need to print hello students on the console. So after reading it, it is evolving it. It is understanding what it is doing, and then it is trying to print. It is trying to print on the console. It is trying to print on the console. P stands for print, and then it is going back to the loop. It is asking for the cursor is blinking. It is asking to give the next instruction so that it will proceed. So ideally stands as a REPL tool. What is a REPL? REPL stands for read, evolve, print, and loop. Clear.
Yeah.
Yes, no.
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Yes,
Yes, sir. Clear.
Okay. Okay. Now I will do one more thing. I will give you one more shot. Now what I will do, I am typing Python in my command prompt. What am I typing here?
Python.
I'm just typing Python on my command prompt. The moment I'm typing Python in my command prompt and hit an enter, could you see that the Python ideally, that Python shell is getting opened even in my command prompt. It's getting opened in my command prompt, and then I can still give that print hello world. I can still give that print hello world. It is still printing, and then I can still give print 10 plus 20. It is still printing. I can still give print. Hello students. Hello students, it is still able to do that. So whatever I'm able to do inside the Python, ideally, if I'm giving, I can open Python ideally even in my command prompt just by giving Python as a command and then click on enter, hit on enter button. The ideally will be open and I can do whatever the necessary things here. Clear, clear, clear.
Yes.
Yes, no?
Yes.
Yes, very much clear.
Okay. Now the next thing is that many let's consider an example. How many of you like to place an online Swiggy order? Like everybody likes to place an online Swiggy order. Can we use other
Yes.
tool to write the Python scripts? Okay, somebody is asking me a question. Can we use other environment or tool to write the Python script? I will come to your question later. I will answer your question. Okay, now everybody in the real-time world, we will like to use Swiggy and Zomato basically to get the food. Food is done in another place, in another kitchen, and the Swiggy delivery person is going to that kitchen, neatly getting that food packed from the kitchen and delivering it to us at our doorstep. So Swiggy, can I call that Swiggy is like, a delivery man or a delivery person who's going to the kitchen or a cloud kitchen in some place, getting the food neatly packed and coming and delivering it to our home doorstep without any, food getting spilled or the class is not getting recorded. Sorry.
The class is getting recorded.
And why Arshad? Arshad? Some people do a lot many mischievous things. Okay. Okay, so the Swiggy person, what he does, he is going and packing the food and he is delivering it to us. By this, the food is intact and there is no spillage of food and everything is safeguarded. Correct? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, similar to that, we have something called as a pip. We have something called as a pip. The pip is called as a, in other words, we call it as a package manager. What this pip is called as?
Okay.
Package manager. Now, what is this package manager? See, most of the codes are written by Python developers. Sometimes it is not written by the Python developers who's working for Python programming. Some other third-party developers, third-party organizations are also writing some Python program, and they find Python developers who are working for Python organization find that whatever the code that the other third-party people have written seems to be a good one. So what they will do, they will neatly package it. So this packaging is called as pip. Pip is a package manager. So for all the Python programs, this pip package manager will neatly pack it so that when I am trying to download it from any other Python source, it will neatly come and sit in my system. It is like a Swiggy, so that there will not be any sort of a data loss, any sort of a data mismatch from the source to the target. Okay, so what is pip? Quickly I'll give you. Pip is a package management system. What is pip? Pip is a package management system where many times if we want to install any Python package, we need to use this pip command and then the name of our package or name of our product what we want to install. So maybe now you will not be using it, but just a general idea, it will be good. Pip is a package management system used to install and manage software packages, software packages written in Python. Clear?
Yes.
Okay, then pip, the next point I would like to give you, it also allows you, to install and manage packages, manage a packages that are not part of the Python standard library. So even if there is any third-party library, some other people have written it, you can still use this packaging mechanism to neatly package your Python program. Say, for example, you are not part of the Python Software Foundation, but you have beautifully written on program and you wanted to give it to your other friend. So you can call this pip. Pip is a package manager. So he will neatly package your system and he can export it and he can give it to your friend. Just so you can give this pip and the name of your program and they will get that particular program neatly installed in their system. Clear?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now I would like to give you, so we have completed installation of Python, we have completed what is pip, we have completed what is REPL tool. Now I'm going to give you what is an IDLE all about. So before going to an IDLE, I thought let me give you a diagrammatic view so that you understand little things. Okay, now for example, assume that this is a Python file that we are writing. This is a Python program. What is this one? This is a Python program that I am writing. Okay, so let me call this as a sample dot program. Okay, sample dot py. So this is a sample Python program. So this sample Python program, any Python program should end with the file name dot what? File name. If you, how do you identify this is a Python program? You can identify a Python program if the file is ending with .py. If any file ending with the .py, it is called as a Python file or a Python program. Clear?
Yes.
Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, and then we also, this Python program has to, it cannot execute by itself. This Python program needs a Python interpreter or it needs a Python translator to convert my English level language into meaningful binary language, something called as a machine level language, something called as zeros and ones. So the sample.py file, whatever I've written, can be executed only when there is a Python interpreter. Yes, no?
Yes.
Okay, so this Python interpreter is a person who's receiving this Python file and translating into zeros and ones and get the job done for me from my computer. Clear?
Yes.
Okay, now and sometimes I am in the real world. I will not only work on one Python file, I will work on hundreds of Python file and I will be working on hundreds of libraries. Imagine clearly, in the real world you are not going to work on one Python file, and this Python file, one Python file is not sufficient. We'll be working on hundreds of Python file. All these hundreds of Python file may be sitting in a folder, and like that we might have many folders, and all these folders we need to keep it in an environment safely. Clear?
Yes.
Yes. And also sometimes if I'm writing a program and that program is giving an error, I need to be in a position to understand what is that error that I'm getting. So I want a neat error history. If I'm writing a program and it is giving errors, I need to have a neat error history to understand what is that error causing about. Clear?
Yes.
So in the real world, I will have not only one sample file, I will have multiple Python files, and all these multiple Python files will be put into a one folder. Like that, we will have many folders, and all these folders should be interpreted, should be translated by this Python interpreter. And then if there is any issue, then we need to reach out and we need to find what is the issue. So all these features, I can get it in one single stop. All these features, whatever the features you are seeing here, I can write any number of files. I can have a Python interpreter and I can look into logs. I can create folders. I can create files. All these things I can achieve in something called as integrated development environment. What? Integrated.
Developed environment.
It is called as a IDE in short. It is called as what?
ID.
IDEA.
IDE in short. So this particular IDE, what it does, it gives me an option to create a Python file. It gives me an option to create a Python directory. It also has the Python interpreter, and then I can execute the program there in this IDE itself. And also it gives me an output to see what is the output. It also gives me if there is any error, I can see the errors also there. So this complete environment is called as integrated development environment. What is this one is called as?
Integrated development.
Integrated development environment. And for Python, Pycharm is a beautiful IDE. For this particular Python, there is an IDE which is very famous, and that IDE name is called as Pycharm. Did you understand about what is an IDE?
Yes.
Everybody?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now let's get into this Pycharm and see what it is all about. So I'm getting into the Pycharm here. This is the official link for Pycharm, the Python IDE for professional developers. So click on the download Pycharm, click here, and you will have two options here, professional Pycharm and community edition. Do not go for professional because we don't need it. If you are okay, you can go ahead, but you need to pay money to use this particular professional version. We have the community version. So based on your operating system, Windows or Mac OS or Linux, based on that, you will have the file. So you can click on download on this community option. It is .exe and you can download it. It will be somewhere around from 400 to 500 MB. So try to download it. In the interest of time, I have already downloaded and kept it in our machine. So like this, you will have an exe file. Clear, clear, clear.
Yes.
So double click
Yes, sir.
on this machine, double click on this link, and it will take you to that installation. Just give me a moment. It should take short time to install. Okay, just click on the yes button and then click on next, and just say that it is next. And then Python, yeah, create Pycharm Community Edition if you wanted to create a shortcut in your desktop, and then click on next, and then install. So it will directly install it. Okay, it should install shortly. Okay, any other question? Arshad, you have question? See, you need to install both Python and Pycharm both. It's good if you are installing. By default, your Pycharm will install Python for you, but the recommended is that you use your own Python version, because sometimes if there is any changes on the Pycharm, because there will be a frequent update, and you are working on a project and you are working on one specific version of Python version, if there is an update, Pycharm will update its interpreter also. But if you're having a local copy that you are configured your Python interpreter, it will always be the same. You will not have any issues. It's good to have it. So run Python Pycharm Community Edition, finish. So it is popping up. So the installation has come. Do not import any settings. I don't have anything. So click on OK. It is loading. And then click on new project. We don't have any existing project. Click on new project. And then it is asking what is the name of our project. So let me say that this is a Python class. What is this one? The name of our project is Python class. Now, could you see that automatically Pycharm, the IDE, whatever we have created, it's giving another interpreter which is coming defaultly by Pycharm. I don't want that one, correct? I don't want an interpreter which is defaultly coming up with Pycharm. Whatever we installed, that interpreter we wanted. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
So
Yes,
don't
sir.
do anything here. So I will help you set it. So just give the name of your project. The name of the project is Python class, and then click on create. It will create one project for you and it will give you. Later, I will show you how to get your things done. So once you are clicking it, it's loading. Okay, just give me a moment. It is loading everything. It's loading. Okay, now I want to use the Python interpreter what I have installed, correct? I don't want the interpreter which is defaultly come up with Pycharm. So click on file, go to settings here, click on file, go to settings here, and go to project Python class. You will have something called as Python interpreter. Click here and it will you can find that interpreter whatever we have added. So click on add interpreter. Okay, or click here. If it is not here, click on show all. Don't click on add interpreter, just click on the down arrow and say add all. Okay, see whatever the version which is coming up with this default Pycharm ID is 3.10, but what we have installed, what is the version we have installed?
3.11.
3.11.
3.11. Okay, so click on this machine. So once this is done, you will have a window like this. Click on add interpreter, and then I wanted to use a system interpreter. So click on the system interpreter. So once you are clicking on the system interpreter, it is giving some default thing. I don't want this. Let me go to here. Could you see here? Karthik,
Yes.
Babu, app data, local programs, Python 3.11. This is the interpreter that I have installed in my machine. And I wanted my Pycharm also to use the same Python interpreter. Click on OK. Click on OK. Click on OK. Now you should see that it is still loading. See here, now from 3.10, it has come to 3.11. And could you see the path where it is taking? It is taking from my machine and it is updating all the necessary packages. Clear.
Yes.
Okay, now let us run. There is a default program that is just there. So once it is completely indexing and updating, then we will have a right click here. You will have this run button. You click it, this will give you an output that it is running successfully. Clear.
Yeah.
Is it very difficult?
No, it's fine.
Not much.
Not much clear, not much difficult, but we have to do the practice like twice.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, can we discuss why the name Python? We have completed installation of Python. We have completed what is PIM. We have completed what is REPL tool. What is ideally introduction to Python I have completed. And then why the name Python? Somebody asked me a good question yesterday. Why is the name Python? Why the name Python? It's very interesting if you get to know this one. Okay, now before going here, you understood, right? I gave my why statement here. I believe that anyone can learn programming. Even Python developers also had the same thought in mind, and that's why they have given the name Python. Let me give you an example. If you are a fan of Mahendra Singh Dhoni, okay? If you are a fan of Mahendra Singh Dhoni, what will be your password? Probably MSD only. If you are a fan of Mahendra Singh Dhoni, you will tend to give the name of your, if you tend to use your password as Mahendra Singh Dhoni only, right? Yes or no? Most of the time. Yes or no? If you are a fan of MSD, you will try to use a MSD Mahendra Singh Dhoni as your password because we all love him and we try to keep that name in one or other ways in our day-to-day life. Like that only, Judo Van Rossum. Who was the author of Python? Who is the developer of Python? This guy. His name is Ludo Van Rossum. This particular founder or the father of Python, Ludo Van Rossum, was a fan of a comedy show. Okay, was a fan of a comedy show. That comedy show was the name. That comedy show was telecasted in the year somewhere around in the year 1969 to 1974, there was a comedy show that was telecasted in the BBC, that is British Broadcasting Service. So that time, this Guido van Rossum was a fan of the complete Monty Python circus. Okay, he was a fan of complete Monty Python flying circus. Okay, this is the one. Okay, let me show you the image. He was a fan of Monty Python Flying Circus. Guido van Rossum, the father of Python, was a fan of this Monty Python Flying Circus. This was a comedy show which was telecasted in the year 1969 to 1974. So, and he loved this Monty Python Flying Circus, and it is a comedy show. He wanted all the users using Python should be enjoying like how we enjoy that the comedy show, like that he wanted every users to enjoy Python and cherish Python, and that's the reason he has named his programming language after this Monty Python Flying Circus. Behind it, he's named it. You followed? Yes, no?
Yes.
Am I audible? Am I lost?
Yeah.
Everybody there with
No,
me?
still.
Everybody there with me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Why the name Python? So he wanted to follow that, he was a fan of Monty Python Flying Circus, and that was a comedy show, and he enjoyed that show, and he wanted all his users using this programming language should enjoy and learn, should enjoy and use Python, and that's the reason he's given this name, Python. Clear?
Yes.
Okay. So we have given why the name Python we have seen, and can I quickly demonstrate one simple program in Python? Yeah.
Yes,
Simple
yes.
program.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, come here. I think it is all set ready. So let's try to run and see whether we are able to get. Okay, hi Pycharm, we are getting it. Super. So we will create one new file. Okay, I'm going to create one new Python file. So what you need to do here is right click on this folder. The project folder is called as Python class. What is the project name we have created? Python class is a project folder. In that project folder, right click and click on new, and then click on Python file. It will ask what is a Python file that you wanted to create. I will say that this is a demo1, and then I will click enter. It will create one file here, demo1.py. It is a Python file. Now here what I'm trying to do here is I am creating a variable. I'm creating a placeholder. I'm creating a bucket. I'm creating a placeholder. In that placeholder, I am assigning a value 10. So A is a placeholder. A is a bucket which is holding the value 10 in it. Likewise, I'm creating B as a variable, B as a placeholder, B as a bucket, and then I'm assigning the value 20. Now what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to print the sum of A and B. I'm trying to print the sum is, and then I wanted to add A comma B. A plus B I wanted to give. Carefully listen. The font and all, I will try to increase it. I will try to set it a little later. But is it visible now? Is it too bad, or can I increase it immediately?
If you can increase it.
Okay, wait. So if you want to change the font size, see here, you need to go back to the settings again, click on the file, click on settings, and click on editor, and then click on font. And I usually like one font size by name Courier New, so I will go with that. Courier New, and then I usually like the font size of somewhere around 16, and then let me apply it. So could you see it? Is it clear now?
Yeah.
Okay, and I usually don't like this theme in my machine, so I go here again in file, I go to settings, and then click on the editor, or I'll click on this particular plugins. Here on this plugins, I use one theme by name One Dark, which is my favorite theme. So it has 4.9 million downloads. So I will try to install this. and then it is a third-party plugin. It is trying to install it so that the theme looks good for me. And then I will click it is installed. I'm clicking on OK, and then my theme. This is what I like. So it is clearly visible. Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, the sum is a plus b. Now when I'm executing it, a value is holding 10, b value is 20. It is reading it. It is printing whatever is there in the single quotes, and a plus b, it is computing it and giving the value 10 plus 20 is 30. Clear, clear, clear. Yes, no?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, now I am going to show you another example. The same program, instead of writing a is equal to 10, b is equal to 20, Python is so concise, Python is so beautiful, I can write it in other way also. What is the other way? I am creating two variables. A is one variable, another variable is b. And then I am assigning equal to symbol. 10 is sitting in the value, 10 is sitting in the variable a, and then 20 is sitting in the variable b. So a is holding 10 and b is holding 20. Even now when I'm executing it, I'm getting beautifully the sum is 30. Clear, clear, clear. So concisely you can write programs in Python. Clear, clear, clear.
Yeah. So Karthik, one
Yes.
question.
Yeah.
Let's say when you are executing this, let's say I have written 4-5 script. Like
Pardon?
below this, there are 4-5 script.
Uh,
So do I have to select and then click on the run, or can I directly do it?
it will try. There is no if I'm running a file, the name of the file is run demo1. So whatever the name of the file is run demo1, that's the file demo1.py. It will execute whatever is present in that. There is no way that you can select one thing and then run it. It will run one file completely, whatever is there, the code inside it.
Okay, got it.
Okay, now the next thing what I like to share here is I want to show you another thing here. Okay, the another thing here is this is very, very important. Say for example, I'm creating another variable c and I'm assigning it to a variable. I'm assigning it to a variable 30. I'm creating a variable c, and that variable c is holding a value 30. And then I'm creating another variable d, and that is holding the value 31.5. And that is holding the value what?
31.5.
I'm holding the value 31.5, and then I am creating another variable e, and then I'm storing another value called as true. I'm storing another value called as true. Now there is a question in me. I want to understand how Python is internally storing this particular data inside its memory. For example, in our human eye, 30 is a whole number or not? Yes or no? Is 30 a whole number?
Yes.
31.5, is it as decimal value?
Yes.
And the true, we
Yes.
consider true is nothing but a Boolean value. Correct? Yes or no? That is how we read in our human mind. Correct?
Yeah.
Now we want to know how Python is storing these data inside its memory. So we can easily use that one. We have an inbuilt function called as a type. Print type of, what is the type of we want? We want to know what is the data type present inside a C. So I'm giving print the data type of C. Now this whole number in programming, we call it as integer. The whole number in programming, we call it as what? Integer. Now if you run this code, it will say that this type 30 is of integer type. Is of what type? Integer type. And the decimal value, whatever we are seeing, the decimal value is interpreted as float. So I want to know what is this 31.5 is internally represented inside the Python. Now when I run it, print type D, it is giving float. So any decimal value is considered as a float value in programming language. Now print type of E. What is the data type? What is it getting stored? It is not storing as a string, it is storing as a Boolean value. Boolean value means anything which is represented in true or false, capital T and capital F, Python will treat that as a Boolean value. Clear, clear, clear.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, no?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So these are the basic things that you need to understand. Clear? Can I proceed
Like,
further?
Yes, sir.
like we no need to define it or something
We
before
don't
just
need to define. In other programming languages, we need to explicitly say that, this is a create a variable of integer c, we need to write it, or we need to write, if this is the one, we need to write it float d in other programming languages. But Python is super smart. It is asking us, you don't worry about the data type, you give me whatever data at runtime, I will try to understand and I will take it. You do not worry, you try to simply give me the process, assign the value to a variable and try to do your computation, I will take care of the rest. It is saying okay.
okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now you need to understand one concept here. Am I defining the data type here?
No.
Am I saying integer c is equal to 30, float d equal to 13.31.5, bool e is equal to true? Am I defining it here in Python like that?
No.
No, I am not doing it. So that is why type concepts, you need to understand that. You need to understand this. Type concepts are present in Python, meaning, see, it is internally storing it. Internally storing type is equal to int, type is equal to float, type is equal to bool. So type concepts are present in Python, but not required to mention the type explicitly. Do you agree with me?
Yes.
But not required to mention the type explicitly. Not mention to require the type explicitly. Is it okay? Can I add one more statement so that you will be able to understand a little better?
Yeah.
Yes.
Based on the value provided, I am giving a whole number. The whole number is treated as an integer. I'm giving a decimal value. The decimal value is treated as a float number. So based on the value provided, the type will be set at runtime automatically. This feature is called as a dynamically typed programming language. This feature is called what? Dynamically typed programming language. What is dynamically typed programming language? You don't need to mention the data type by default. It is automatically taking it at the runtime. So this is called as dynamically typed programming language. So can I say that Python and JavaScript are dynamically typed programming language? Python and JavaScript. Python and JavaScript are dynamically typed programming language. Are you okay with this part?
Yes.
Yes.
I am not saying Java. There is a difference between JavaScript and Java. Clear?
Okay. JavaScript.
There is a difference between JavaScript and Java. So I am talking about JavaScript. Python and JavaScript are dynamically typed programming languages. Then you should ask me, how about other programming languages? If you take a C, C++, and Java are statically typed programming language. Statically typed programming languages. Clear.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And my recommendation is for beginners, Python is the best programming language. Python is the best programming language. Clear?
Yes.
Yes, no?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Instead of sum, can I write total? Yes, this is a string, so you can write a total also, that is fine. Okay. So did you understand this part?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to give you another example. Can I give you another example? Is it okay with you?
Yes, sir. Sure, sir.
Okay. I'm going to create another Python file. How do I create another Python file? Click on this project folder Python class, right click on new and click on Python file. Here write demo2 and then click on enter. Second file we are creating. Okay. Now I am writing I am creating a new file and I am creating a is equal to 10. And then I am typing print type of a. What is the type of a according to you?
Integer. It's an integer.
Integer. I am running it. The type of a is integer. Beautiful. Now what I'm doing on the same a variable, I'm assigning 10.5. Now I wanted to find what is the type of a. What is the type of a? Now what will be the output? Float. First time you need to imagine that a is a container, a is a glass. First time you are pouring water and then you are asking what is inside the glass, and you are seeing that water is present inside the glass. Then you are emptying the glass and then filling the a glass with the milk and then asking what is present in the second time inside the glass. Now milk is present. Likewise, in the first time float value, the integer value is present. In the second time a float value is present. Clear?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Now one more beauty is there. I am assigning it to a string. Anything you represent in single quotes or in double quotes, it will be treated as a string. Anything in Python you represent in single quotes or in double quotes, what it is called as? It will be treated as what?
Boolean.
It will be treated as a string. Could you see here? First time float it is treated, second time it is treated as float, first time it is treated as int, second time it is treated as float, and third time it is treated as a string. Clear.
Yeah.
Now you need to carefully listen one point which is very, very important. Okay. That the important point is here a is taking the value of int, here a is taking the value of a float, here a is taking the value of a string. Correct? Yes or no?
Yes.
So a
Yes.
is accommodating integer data type, it is accommodating float data type, it is accommodating string data type. A is changing its formation in this entire program, it is changing its formation 3 times. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, this nature is supported only in Python. Okay, this nature is not supported in other programming languages. If you define a is equal to 10 in other programming languages, in Java or C# or C or any other language or C++, if you are giving int a is equal to 10, all throughout the life of this particular program demo2.py, this a will remain only integer. You cannot assign any other data type. But instead of 10, you can change it to 20. Instead of 20, you can change it to 30. But you cannot change the data type. But Python is the only programming language where you can change the a variable from different format to a different format. Clear?
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay, so this nature is also called as a dynamically typed programming language. Okay.
Yeah.
So I will give you some points here. The same variable can be used with multiple data types, in Python. Clear? Multiple data types in Python. This nature is called dynamically programming language. This nature is called what?
Dynamically programmed language.
Dynamically programmed language. In other programming languages, this is not possible. Clear.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. You have any other questions? Good.
So
Okay.
yeah.
No other questions?